Thank you so much for being here. So, of my panelists, three of them have come down specifically from Bangalore. In fact, one of them has a hard stop because she has to uh, get to the airport. But thank you so much for your time and for making time for this discussion. And of course, we all saw the pandemic gave all retailers a headache with all the supply chain issues, and then there was geopolitical tensions, the economic uncertainties, and all retailers have overcome that. But another thing that emerged was these new formats, these new retail formats that have come up. So now the question is, and they're quite fun actually, and there's a lot of, so we've got the best of the best here with us today. So let's hear from them. What are the changes that have come in? What is it going to look like in 2024 and beyond? But let's start with a bit of introduction. So could I request you all to introduce yourselves? But
Sure.
when you do, also add what is that one aspect about your job that you really like?
Hi everyone, my name is Varun Tangri. I'm the founder and CEO of QueueBuster. QueueBuster is basically a Android-based point of sale solution used by retailers, grocery, restaurants, spa and salon, basically all kinds of merchants to manage their in-store operations and online operations like billing, inventory, khata, CRM, loyalty, all combined into one. So QueueBuster is basically a super app used by any kind of retailer to manage their in-store as well as online operations. What I love the most is it's challenging. I think, uh, I love to take challenges because from a very beginning, I have been a studious kind of a guy. So went up to Delhi College of Engineering, did that, then took the plunge in entrepreneurship when entrepreneurship was not even famous in 2012. So I think because it gives you challenge on a daily basis, I really love that part of it. New problems every day, totally unknown, uncharted territory, and I love that.
Hi, I'm Ramaswamy. I lead Fulfill by Amazon here in India and the emerging markets. Everyone knows Amazon, so needs no introduction. So I'll talk a little bit about FBA. Fulfill by Amazon is the business model where sellers all over India send their inventory to Amazon warehouses. And when the customer orders it, we pick, pack, and ship the item. And this is what we do at a national level. We have warehouses all over the country supporting customer orders. And recently we have also launched another service where sellers can fulfill their customer orders with their FBA inventory, even if the order comes from their off Amazon website. So that's the kind of service we provide, and we want to support sellers through outsourcing their fulfillment operations.
First of all, I'd like to thank Businessworld for giving us this opportunity. I'm Sharmila Senthilraja, and I lead the industry platform for consumer products and retail for a company called Capgemini. Now, for those of you who do not know, this is the company which runs the POS machines. Every time you may have bought a burger at your famous burger joint. This is also a company which runs the supply chains for the largest FMCG company in the world. We also help sell the most expensive of Hermes bags. So yes, so we work across the consumer products and retail companies across the globe, and we work from engineering all the way, and when I say hardcore engineering, like automation and like building, Coca-Cola's freestyle machine. Some of you may have experienced it. You can mix any kind, Sprite, or whatever is the different colas, and drink that. So that machine is built by us. We run ERP programs, transformation programs, we do data and analytics, and we also do business services. And you asked me what makes it interesting in my work. I started my career with Food World. I was in the business of retail before I moved into the tech of retail. And there were times when I used to go to the warehouse and look at the shelf and say, yes, I have 2 weeks worth of Sunsilk. Probably I will order it next time the Unilever guy comes. To the time now, when we are talking about hands-free, automated, touch-free forecasting, where the system will do everything for you. And the buyer just needs to say whether it looks nice, eyeball it, and say, yes, this is my order to the company. Yeah. So the ability to bring tech into an industry which I love is what keeps me going.
Nice.
Thank you, Sharmila. That was lovely. I mean, very good afternoon, everyone. Lalit here, representing Landmark Group India. So, Landmark Group basically is representing the retail at front, not only in the apparel, but we also sell footwear, accessories, lifestyle products,
Yeah.
even the fun, even the food joints also. And I do the visual merchandising. I'm a visual merchandising specialist for many more years. And you know what best I love being in this industry and in this field is when I go to any store and when I find the consumer, what when they are walking on the floor and they're looking to the product and they feel, oh, this is so nice. This is one aspect of it, the satisfaction what they get after seeing the look what they are desired for. And the second is when as a retailers we all understand the consumer at is the best one, which is the buyer of all the services, and the actual sellers, the floor staffs, and when they feel anywhere, when they feel low, it is the visual merchandiser who help them. We go to them, we provide them solutions, we help them delivering the output at the end of the things. So that gives me real excitement, and that is what I love the most.
So let's start our discussion with three aspects that you all want to highlight about changes in retail formats since 2020 that stood out for you. So maybe we can start with you, Varun.
Retail spaces have grown from just being a buying place for customers. It has evolved to become an experiential store. So let's say you go to Hamleys, you don't just go to buy toys for your kids, right? You also go and encounter a lot of new things which the brand has to offer. So I think traditionally over the years things have moved from just being a buying place to a more experiential place. And second is the advent of technology related stuff inside a store. So merely moving from pen paper to a lot more engaging activities happening on a tech level inside the stores. That has been the second biggest thing. Thirdly, omni-channel for sure. So I think everything has started converging to a pure play omni-channel play for brands. So I think these three things have stood out for me, which I've experienced personally. Malls have taken it to a bigger extent than the high street or maybe just the local neighborhood stores. So I think that is the next big thing that will happen, that your local neighborhood stores will start getting better and better in terms of visual quality, in terms of product assortment, in terms of technology adoption, in terms of a lot of that stuff. So like grocery, for example, a typical Lalaji ki dukan is now getting actually into a kind of a shelf space supermarket. छोटा ही करते हैं, but they are actually upgrading their visual appeal and bringing some technology inside in it. And it is a long term game, not going to happen in, let's say, next 5 years, but that's where the industry is moving.
So Ramaswamy, when we come to you, in terms of the changes that you say stand out for you, perhaps a focus on e-commerce, what would you want to say?
So ever since COVID, right? So we have always had e-commerce and digitization happening, but since COVID, we have seen a rapid acceleration in digitization in every which way in the retail space. So if you look at it now, most people are comfortable buying most of their needs from Amazon or other marketplaces, digital marketplaces, right? For example, they would buy garden equipment, they would buy fashion accessories, they will buy, even pharmacy is online now, right? So, and this was not the case before COVID. Now, with COVID, people have changed behaviors, and some of it is sticking, and some of it is here to live forever, right? So that change in behavior and the pace at which it changed is very mind blowing. And the second part of it is, before COVID, it was always considered, e-commerce was considered a metro play. It was only the big cities, and it was only the already people who are exposed to the online world who would go and do e-commerce shopping. But after COVID, we see in Amazon that a lot of the business comes from tier 3, tier 4 cities. So the general buying pattern in the whole country is changing. And this is just the beginning, right? Because we are just at 3 to 5% penetration in the retail world. So I think this is a long way to go, and this change in behavior is very encouraging. And thirdly, digitization of payments, right? So everywhere you go, everybody has a UPI QR code, and they all want UPI payments. Long gone are the days when you would ask for chutta and the guy will say, I don't have any. Now they say UPI kar do, right? So this is what's like really interesting and encouraging.
What about you?
So I think and this is very, very dramatic after 2020, when the world was raising the physical barriers, I think businesses were breaking it because digital, and many of them scrambled to become digital, that is no doubt, but that has kind of set the playing field level. So gone are the days when retail was all about high capex, stores, locations. Now anybody who has a good product or a good service to sell has the access.
Yeah.
And that access is to customers across the globe. So what retail has seen, the format has changed, is suddenly there is a huge access to customers, consumers, which was earlier not available. Not only access to these customers, but you had access to their time. I mean, thankfully for the 2 years when everybody was in lockdown, most of the other categories like travel, for example, or education, where the time was spent mostly, or at work, now a lot of that work time was available with people.
Yeah.
And retail almost became an entertainment at that time. There was a time when shopping by online was one of the things people did. And the third is access to that wallet. Because spend was reduced in so many other categories.
Yeah.
Spend we saw increase in many non-discretionary categories like apparel, like entertainment, gaming, etc. This gave rise to one very, very interesting trend we see now, and that's direct to consumers. So I think direct to consumers along with omnichannel is something that probably got accelerated because of what we saw in the last 5 years.
So basically, I'll say just after the COVID, and even the time spent during this COVID has taught a lot of new things to all the people. The terms what we read today, Gen Z or Gen Alpha, all of the people become that, and everybody becomes so tech friendly, and even so, the retail also has evolved and taken those things in a very serious way. The stores opened after COVID, or the stores operational prior to COVID. All our stores is having a kiosk which has a omni, like the product which is available inside, or maybe if in case you are not able, whether you are online, whether you are offline, you have the availability and the visibility of all the products. It is totally depending on the customers. As the customers become patienceless, you just think the moment you have the internet on your phone, and the moment the server shows that the circle is going on, you immediately switch it off and you switch to new tabs, or finding the new way whether Wi-Fi is working or not. And this is the case for everything. Whether you like the product or not, you have n number of choice. The earlier discussions was happening about loyalty. This is not something, I mean, now the people is not looking for loyalty. They are looking for the looks, whether they are finding it online or offline. They have the availability. The shops is there on the phone. They are prefer to go to a fast fashion stores where maybe the product is something maybe they are wearing, they are able to wear twice or thrice, and they move away. They change the wardrobe in a maybe earlier, before COVID, when you see the wardrobe changing style was the phenomenon, almost like people used to buy clothes in the 6 month or maybe in a yearly span. Now it is happening, there is a concept of monthly drops. People change the wardrobe on a monthly basis, and that is the capability, and that is the benefits of having the best products available in the best values in terms of monetary benefits. That's the advantage what we all got.
In fact, in tech has made this even more easier. You know, this brand called Shein, I'm sure you know it. It's now banned in India, of course. But it's back in a different avatar. Yes. So they take 10 days from spotting the trend to making the product available on their website.
And you know, one very good thing is after this COVID, even if you go into the online model, the kind of visibility as we as a customers has, the moment you place the order and the moment it is getting delivered to you, you have a selection of choice. You can stop it, you can exchange it, you can even convert it during the transit time. So there is lots of options which is easily available as a customers to all of us.
So there's, you all have highlighted digital, you've highlighted tech. There was this, just 2 days back, I was reading a story. I won't take the name of the brand, but there's this supermarket in the UK. They have the self checkout counters, and they were saying that, customers are having such trouble with it because it doesn't scan your items, your grocery items, and things like that, or it's double scanning. And so that was highlighted as that was a headache. Then when you talk about fashion, there are people who say that they walk into a store when their eyes are looking at, or they stop at one of the racks, looking at a red shirt or a red top. They walk out of the store without buying it, and they get an email or a text or an SMS from the store saying, a discount on this lovely red shirt. So, and you didn't do anything. You just paused next to that rack. So now my question is, while tech is really good and all that, what do you say about things like privacy, if we talk about the red shirt, or seamless experience for the consumer when we talk about the self-checkout counter? So let's come to you.
Interesting question. In the previous panel also, they were talking about privacy and how it's being handled. So one of the important things is, yes, with the advent of e-commerce, there's a lot of access to data, not just to customer data, right? It's also to product performance. It's also on supply chain performance and your working capital and all of those things, right? So there's a rich availability of data based on which you take a lot of decisions. And one of them happens to be customer preferences, right? Now, customer preferences comes with its own liabilities, or even how do you call it, responsibilities of customer privacy, right? And in Amazon, we manage this through strict data retention policies. We follow the law of the land in every marketplace we operate in, and we make sure that we only use the data which the customer has allowed us to use it for, right? If they don't want marketing information, then they won't get any, right? At the same time, it helps customers to sometimes get curated products because that's what they were looking for, right? Sometimes they prefer to get that, in which case they use it. Otherwise, they let us know and we stop that.
You mean like the red shirt,
Which
was so scary, it's spooky, because you walk out and
Yeah.
Actually, playing devil's advocate here, really, how much is data privacy really worrying the youngsters? I think as the generations are moving ahead, there are some things which everybody takes for granted. As long as it's not intrusive, as long as it's in that moment giving them a specific information. However, it is the responsibility for retailers and brand owners to ensure that they are legally compliant on what's required in the country. And GDPR and privacy laws are so different in different countries. So some things that probably might shift it is, you might have heard that the third-party cookies are going to become illegal and banned. So in such cases, probably you may not be talking to somebody about a certain product and you see an ad for it the next day. That might not happen. But if you have opted in for a retailer's loyalty program, then you are opting it by choice. In that case, then the retailer has that responsibility to honor that.
Just wanted to add to this.
Yeah.
Alexa is listening everything all the time, right? So I think Amazon should be the last company to say anything about being listening to customer preferences or not. So I think so yes, we are being heard, we are being looked at, we are being monitored throughout the time. It's 24/7. And because of the companies like Google, sorry to say Amazon as well, you are always on their radar for your preferences and choices for purchases. And this is not going to end because there is no definitive policy around it. You sign a agreement saying that my data should not be shared with n number of third parties, but you also at the same time sign an agreement saying that it can be used for their internal processes and training and all of that stuff, and it falls under that ambit, right? So I think it's a very loosely held term. Data privacy is very loosely used, especially in India. Outside India, there are stricter laws, but as far as India is concerned, I think we are still guinea pigs for a lot of tech companies because we don't raise our voices much, and we don't actually point fingers and say that this is wrong or right. We let it happen.
I have a bit different point of view here. If in case we as a person is so much concerned about the data privacy, then maybe on behalf of the retail community, I will request all of them stop using online and come to the brick and mortar retail. That's where the life is. Shopping is one of the biggest therapy. Where I mean, I'm
Absolutely
sure
agree.
Sharmila will agree to this. Being a customer, or when we walk into any stores and we found it, whether willing or not willing, we end to buying something. And that's the beauty of brick and mortar retail, which probably you will not get online. Maybe after seeing 1 hour, you will switch to Instagram Reels, and then you will spend another 1 hour and doing nothing, switch off the phone and keep it inside. But when you go to mall, you will certainly find something and you will buy. So come to the retail stores and probably you will not have those doubts of leaking the datas. it's
Fair
it's very
point.
enjoyable.
Fair point.
Yeah.
So now on that, why don't we start with you about, tell us about a physical store that you've recently visited and really enjoyed and had a great consumer experience.
So when I started from Bangalore, I mean, I reached Delhi yesterday, and I've tried to make a couple of stores also, like visit. I was visiting couple of stores with the high street, because high street stores in Delhi is very good. You have lots of opportunity to see and experience the local market also. Unfortunately, I'm from Delhi, so I known this place for many more years, and I was there in Lajpat Nagar. And after spending my half of the day there in Lajpat Nagar, I visited one of the upcoming retail sector in Gurgaon, where lots of buildings is there, but no customer was there. I was quite surprised. I was amazed. Such a beautiful place, such a beautiful architecture, a great looking stores, a very good looking malls where the customers is not there. So I would say it is not only about the making the beautiful malls. It is about how we are getting the customers inside the mall. Because if customers is not there, whatever thing that we do in terms of design or making them expensive stores, malls, there was a very newly opened mall in Bangalore. I don't mind naming the name, Mall of Asia. This is one of the kind of mall where we have. It's a very newly opened, 3-4 months before. You go and experience the mall. I mean, every brand you go, they have the best setup there. And every store speaks by there is a different language of that mall. And eventually, which is the upcoming and which is a trend of all the retailers, all the brands. Everybody is trying to keep it simple. That's the real trend going forward. We all are understanding the practicality of the stores. We are, as in when we are progressing towards future, we are trying to become bit more simple, bit more practical, which is a fantastic thing. And we all should praise this fact.
Right. So, I can see the timer so why don't we'll start with you, Varun. Let's wrap up. Tell us your thoughts on how retail formats are going to change in 2024, the rest of this year and beyond.
So there are two thoughts. One is around technology. I think the cash counters are going to go away pretty soon. You will find more technology, and I'm talking from a very selfish perspective because I'm the one who is automating the checkout counters. So what I personally believe is gone are the days when you have big Windows-based systems being installed at the cash counter for very basic things. So I think that will go away. One. Secondly, advent of quick commerce. So I think retail experiences will actually move to quick commerce more. So fashion under 10 minutes, you will see that coming up. So I don't know physical brick and mortar, how that is going to react to that kind of a change. But very soon you will get your phone in 10 minutes, whatever phone you like, whatever dress you like in under 10 minutes. That is definitely going to happen, and it is happening now. So these are the two things I think which are going to happen.
Ramaswamy?
Yeah, so I double that thought. Definitely quick commerce and same day delivery, within a day delivery, these will become more common and more accepted practice in e-commerce. In addition to that, I also think that customers are becoming a lot more sustainability aware and conscious. So that's coming up a lot, and we heard it in the earlier panel as well. So customers have started looking for products that are sustainable. So in Amazon, we have made changes to cater to customers like that. Our packaging is plastic free. We use a lot of electric vehicles now, and so on and so forth. And in that line, we're also advocating for digital invoicing. Invoice is something, every transaction comes with a paper invoice. So we are trying to get that digitized so that we can improve, the speed of operations, the cost involved in the operations of printing and storing paper and filing papers and all of that stuff. So that's another area that you would see more and more businesses being known for sustainability.
Thanks, Ramaswamy. I'd like to assure you, Lalit, retail stores are not going anywhere. They're going to stay, and we are going to enjoy both physical retail and omni-channel world. And it's going to merge together. It's going to be a hybrid retail world.
Yeah.
And even there, what we would like to in the tech world call as headless commerce. So whether you're buying from a mobile app, you're buying from a gaming console, you're buying from a website, you're buying from Alexa. So that's all the front end. And it can be anything. As a retailer, if you plug into any of these systems and these gadgets, you can still give them the kind of experience they want. So retail is moving there, and retail is also moving to a lot of demand sensing and demand driven retail. So when consumers demand it, you will deliver it. So that's why quick commerce will also increase, and more it will become a sharing economy. Everything is available to everyone, provided by everybody.
I believe experience is going to take the win. Experience as in customer, wherever we get the best experience, we tends to go. And we as a retailer, the care is going to win the game. So one side it is experience, and one side it is a care. More you care, more you acquire your customer base.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you to the audience and all the questions. Thank you, panelists, for your time.